What's up, my archmates of chaos? This is your King and Knife. It's about time EX Turk here to do a movie review. Just well, since I watched the Broly movie, and well, I'm gonna be completely honest. No biases, none of that stuff. 100% crystal clear, unfiltered truth. Enough to not only get me dislikes, but enough to get me hated by the entire world. Well, if I'm not hated as it is, I'm your infamous King of the Night. But anyways, besides all of that, let's get started. I had to rate this around 7 out of 7, and I'm going to be talking about the positives and negatives. Starting with the positives that I really liked, where I did like that Super Saiyan 4 is actually now canon, considering the concept of the Great Ape being, Great Ape's power being turned into an actual, power-up for Broly's transformation. The ones with the yellow eyes and black hair, he was able to harness the Ozaru power while staying in base form. So you got the concept of Super Saiyan 4. So Super Saiyan 4 is now canon. So you can't say Super Saiyan 4 is not canon anymore, because to say Super Saiyan 4 is not canon is not only cringeworthy, but stupid and ignorant. And the other good things I like is Gogeta's canon. And I remember I said I'm a big Gogeta fan, so Gogeta is actually canon, which I'm happy about. Now, in the beginning of the movie, everything was going good because it was all hand-drawn. But then, which I'm going to get to that in the negative part. But I'm just trying to share out the positivity first. But it did feel like a Dragon Ball Z movie. And even though it retcons some story, there was some good background with the Saiyans. I did like Bardock showing humanity, to show that Saiyans actually have hearts and they were actually human, more like humans than you really think. That maybe the Saiyans weren't the evil monsters that they were forced to be in the Saiyan saga. So now I understand why the Saiyans were forced to be what they are. Fear of death and stuff and such, and the fact that Frieza ruled the entire almost half the world, half the galaxy, enslaving races, and no one's stronger than him at this point. So as well. So I'd like Gogeta. I like the whole complete backstory of the Saiyans. And I like that Broly actually used the concept of a Super Saiyan 4, which, again, this will be a spoiler review. Now, let's get into the negative. Let's get into the actual negative that I didn't really like. One, it was Broly has a love interest, apparently. Well, in Chile, it's like, Broly would have done much better without a love interest. And even if you're gonna play as a new Broly, and don't get me wrong, it's good they humanized Broly a little bit, because it put more development on Broly's character. But a little bit too much salt on the fries isn't really gonna make the fries taste good. Having Broly have a love interest was kind of a bad move on their part. You know, and again, this is gonna be a spoiler review. I'll put that in the video. You know, the freezer part, the sand part was good for the most part. Now, the problem I have is retcon. That this movie has so many retcons. They retcon this movie more than Tabata did with Final Fantasy 15. You know, which makes plot holes big enough to see Swiss cheese holes, which honestly I didn't really like or care for. And you know what? That would have been more tolerable, I'll be honest. I could tolerate, you know, plot holes, stories, because of retcons that change so many things that I remember the original. That's fine. I could put up with it. But the problem I had most was where they spent their biggest budget on. And that was too much animation. It felt like a Michael Bay film just because there's too many explosions, people punching through dimensions, you punch through lava, then you punch through snow back again, and it's just, if they would have spent less time on the visual effects stuff, maybe this could have been a little bit better, you know. And I'm just being completely honest. The visual effects is the problem I have with the movie the most of all. Matter of fact, I have no beef with the movie other than the visual effects because there's too much in there. Even Gogeta. Now, if the character has to, go around saying what is this and try to question thing and get into the fourth person, you know, get into fourth person, then that's to tell you, yeah, but a little bit too much special VFX. You know, too much CGI in anything. Even an anime movie or animated or cartoon movie, it don't matter what movie you make. Cartoon, animated, hand-drawn, whatever it is. You know, avid children's CG film, it don't matter. Too much CGI and VR effects could spoil the movie. And it did. It could spoil what is already good. And that's the problem. You know, this is where too much was put in the movie. Too much. Don't get me wrong, great plot, great story. Of course, I don't understand how Broly's alive, but I think that's just probably just the fact that Broly fans love Broly, so, you know, but it is what it is. You know, but nonetheless, it's like, you know, I think this movie would have done better personally in my mind, in my heart, if they would have cut back on the VR effects just a little bit. You know, just keep on just the regular fighting scenes. Kind of like what you see on this Dragon Ball FighterZ game I'm actually playing footage, you know, where you could actually see the fighters actually fight. Now, they do fight fast and disappear and stuff like that, but you were able to see it. You were able to get glimpses. It was hard to get glimpses because everything moves so fast, flashing lights, hitting through dimensions, so it was hard to tell what was really going on. So, you know, don't get me wrong, I like Broly's origin story on this one, and they kept Paragus as the douchebag son of a bitch that he truly is. As a matter of fact, I hated Paragus even more in this movie than I did in the original movies because, well, now they made him hateable, which was a positive. You know, but too much retconning and too much visual V-Ray effects is probably what spoiled the movie in the first place. So that's just my honest review on the Dragon Ball Super Broly movie, and may the crystal be with you. We don't no longer get along anymore. Now it's time to... I need some space from you. I need space from you, girl. The Final Fantasy Ultimania guide. This will actually pretty much tell you everything about the Final Fantasy universe. This is Volume 2, which contains the games of 7, 8, and 9. And the first one contains the ones before that. This has like artwork, guides, everything, even the original artwork, the universe, the story, everything is supposed to be, everything that's in the Final Fantasy universe is in these guides. So don't forget to go to Barnes & Noble and pick yourself up the Final Fantasy Ultimate.